Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and once again, welcome to Walsall. We're going to be doing things out of here once again. So at the end of last episode, I was talking about this line here. I'm being very careful with my camera placements here as to not give something away. So this line here, it runs up to Stockport Waterside via Banbury Shore, which is just off camera down in the south here. And I was talking about rerouting the passenger line up here to Swaddling Coat and then beyond. From Swaddling Coat, we could possibly have a line that goes across to Farringdon, but then there's nowhere else really for it to go unless it connects up to Spalding. But we've already done that from Frome. Actually, it could go to Colville and then Kings Lynn and St Ives. That's not a bad idea, in fact. We might end up doing that. So Barton here might end up being... or Farringdon even, might end up being a junction. We'll come to that in a minute. And I said about leaving this other line here as a temporary route, but then I thought, why not just have this become the freight line, and we'll have these as freight stations, maybe straddling a pair of tracks in the middle. We'll come to building those later on. Might leave the passenger line in situ for now though, just because we have got a system set up here. And then the freight line will be the one that follows the river. Because there are a few industries here that are somewhat near the river. And it's easy to get things on and off boats then as well. To set this up though, I went back and rebuilt this, which is Walsall Train Yard, Train Shed, whatever you want to call it. I think the episode title was Train Shed, but that's not necessarily what it is. But yeah, I moved the shed itself to over here. I believe I can also... I can, but I'm not going to, because... I actually like the inspection pit look that we've got in there. I haven't got any locos in there yet, but I will in the future. I've also over here got a water tower and an coaling plant, which is a little too modern for where we are right now, but I've just put it in anyway to show you what it would look like. I have no idea how to paint these brown bits here, by the way. If anyone does know, let me know. I couldn't find a way to do it unless you do it sort of. No, I didn't do it either. Oh well, it is what it is. So yeah, we got all this set up and it actually looks pretty cool. And I love the fact that this line here, it drops below the height of the sheds to actually go over to the coaling plant and the water tower and things. And it runs alongside the sidings here, so you can almost imagine it was an extra siding and then they cut it to turn it into a fueling line. We got the locos back in here as well, although all of them are identical. They've all got the same number as well. So as we unlock more locos, this will get changed. We've got a lovely set of junctions here, which I'm really happy about, including this double slip that isn't a double slip because it doesn't need to be. The two approach tracks now come in from different angles, and we've also got this really awesome signal box in the middle of all this as well, which I just think looks awesome. I have also realised that right now a loco can come down this way and access these two lines, or it can come this way and access these two lines, but that's mainly done so that it can access this line. And yeah, it's fine. It makes some sort of sense, I think. In terms of everything else, this line here is still not profitable. I don't think it ever will be in its current state. This will end up being the one that's extended all the way over to Trowbridge as well, and only then do I feel like it'll actually start making money. But we'll see. In terms of this line, so we've got a lot of passengers waiting to go from Seaton to Castleford. What's the frequency of that? 8 minutes. So already I'm thinking we need a passing loop. Also here, it's quite a lot. No one here yet, but that might be because a train's just left. And Leighton is also starting to get popular. So yeah, that's worked out pretty well, I would say. Right, let's get on to the crux of this episode then. So we're going to take a line. First of all, this freight line here, I'm going to extend it and have it run parallel to this for a bit. Oh, new locos. That's good timing. And we got a saddle tank down here as well, which is cool. So we've got 2 new saddle tanks, this thing, whatever that is, and then loads of traction engines, which could be really useful for something later on. But we'll come to that in a bit. Pause the game. I'm about to cause all sorts of problems for our freight trains. So here's what's going to happen. right now I'm going to take this here and I'm just going to run this alongside. I'll try to. All the way down here to about here. We'll do it a little bit further. To about here. That's good. At this point here, this track here is going to be curtailed, but I need to actually let this train here move past that first. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to run it. Any second now. I think once it reaches this signal, we should be fine. There we go. That's fine. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this. There we go. Now what's going to happen is this line here is going to connect to that line there. Easy as that. Back over here, we're going to have a couple of ladder junctions. So I'm going to have you do this. I'm going to have you do this. And then in the other direction, you're going to do that. And you are going to do that. But at the same time, actually, I'm going to have to redo this. Let's have another crack at this. I'll make these a bit smaller. Not ridiculously small, but I want to try and get both sets of crossovers between this pair of signals, which means you're going to have to be something like that. And then this side, I think 32, 33 miles an hour is a pretty good speed for what I'm trying to achieve here. So yeah, you're going to do that. And then on this side, you're going to go like this. You're going to go like this. You're going to go like that. And this one is going to go like that. There we are. Now, what's the problem here? Train 3. Which is now fixed itself. Good. So yeah, this is how this is going to look. Obviously, we're going to redo this slightly. So auto sig off, that's fine. Remove you. So at this point here, basically this point here, this line here is going to start to curve away, and it's going to come around like this. Now we've already got one line here that curves quite sharply, and we're about to add a second one because this track here is going to thread perfectly through there. Look at that. And that is then going to head up towards Swaddling Coat. This other line here, as you can see, is now connected up to Banbury and beyond. And you'll see it will use the crossover here. And whatever happens now, this crossover will remain in place. And the reason it will remain in place is because of Walsall. So if we look at Walsall, we've got these freight platforms. So what this means now is trains running from this station here will be able to cross over and head to Walsall, as well as head to Walsall Freight Yard. We also have passenger trains that, we'll have other freight trains that will be on this line here from Swaddling Coat that might want to go to the Freight Yard rather than Walsall Central. And again, they can do so via that set of crossovers. So I think this now will become a permanent junction of the line. It might get rebuilt a little bit over the years, but it's basically a permanent section of the line now. We are now going to remove all signalling on this section here, and we're going to replace it with shunt signals, which again is probably not the best way of doing it. You could probably run this as normal signalling. And actually, do you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think that is in fact what I'm going to do. But I'm going to use this type of signalling. I'm not going to use the big starter signals. There we go. So yeah, that's all good. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing, but obviously I'm going to do that. And then over here at this junction, I'm actually tempted to use another gantry signal, which again is what I'm going to do. So let's get that set up. 4 tracks, and it should go... Oh, I had it then. There we go. Like so. And then an overhead stop signal. We don't want auto sig on. One there. One there. That is perfect alignment. Love it. Alrighty then. We are ready to start heading up towards Swaddling Coat. Now, from Swaddling Coat, I think we are going to continue to Farringdon. And then Farringdon is where we'll split with one line to Colville, one line to Barton. And then from Barton, Cockermouth, I don't know what's going to happen here. I guess we could do another split. Because we're actually near the north of the map now. So there aren't that many other places to serve. But we're definitely going to go from Farringdon to Colville, Kings Lynn, St Ives. That'd be a good one to do. Ipswich is a bit of a misnomer, unless from Barton we go Cockermouth, Thornaby, Crewe, Ipswich, and we kind of swing around like that, and then have another line from Cockermouth to Rugby and Cambridge. That's plausible, because we can't really go Cockermouth, Ipswich, Thornaby, Crewe, and we can't really go Cockermouth, Thornaby, Cambridge, Rugby, or like this. I suppose what we could do is just have a single line from here that goes Cockermouth, Thornaby, Crewe, and then have buses connect these other ones up to these towns. So, you know, Rugby to Cockermouth, Cambridge to Thornaby, Ipswich to Crewe. That would work better, because then we can follow the road here, and that would be a smarter way of doing it, actually. So I'm going to do that. But first, we're going to come over here to Swaddling Coat, and we're going to build ourselves a railway station. And we're going to build it like this. Now, we've used footbridges a lot recently, so I'm going to switch this one to a subway. There you go. We're connected to that bus stop, which is good. And you can see we're slightly below ground here, which is kind of in our favour, considering the direction that we're coming from. It's quite a steep, well, it's steep-ish as a slope. We're up the most of it at this point, but yeah, you can see it continues to go up all the way to Swaddling Coat, so it gives us a bit of more of a gentle gradient to work with. Here at Farringdon, now where's the junction going to be, or where's the station location going to be here? I'm tempted to actually build it on the south side and have it connected to this road, which seems a bit weird, but even from Swaddling Coat, that's quite an easy station to reach, because you just follow this road, cross it, and then turn north. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm actually going to do that. And we're going to make this a 6 platform with a subway. Now this one, I'm almost tempted to sort of bury it slightly. And have the lines coming out here as tunnel. I think it's going to be a bit like this, which hopefully will work. Let's see if I was to do it sort of like this. Maybe not tunnels, but definitely going under a bridge out of town here. So I think what's going to happen here is from, say, here, you're going to come out and curve around like this. So where's, that's Colville there. So you're going to have to come around more like this. And that's going to be built like that. But at the same time, we're going to have a line that comes out this way. And I've already realised I've done a goof a little bit here. It's always good to have your junctions flat if you can. So if I was to bring this one out like this, but we'll start off like so. We'll just follow this back in. to about there. There we go. And now we can start following the gradient of the land again. And there you are. So that sends us out towards Barton. Now we're not going to do all of this building today because we're not going to get any trains running. Or we are going to do all the building today and then we're just not going to get any trains running. It's one or the other. So yeah, that's going to be what this looks like. Although again, I feel like this line here is actually going to come around more towards this platform. It's a bit tricky deciding how this is going to work. But I guess one of the advantages you have here is you get multiple attempts. So we could do this. And then from here, you come around and just connect up like that. And then this side can come and run, yeah, basically like that. And then on this side here, we could do something similar where this runs round like this. Just sort of there. And then, so where's Colville's in that direction. So I think for Colville, we might actually go around the back of this alcohol. I don't actually know what it's, is it alcohol distillery or something like that? Whatever it's called. And then here we'll start running back at ground level. There we are. And then this platform, the tracks will run parallel and it'll be something like this. I think I've connected this one up a bit late actually. Let's try that again. So it'll be like that, and then from here it will just be parallel all the way. Like so. That's all looking good. And then over here, so what I basically want it to be is this track here can cross over as far as this one. And then something similar with this one and this one. And we'll chuck in some double slips and stuff for good measure. This one here is this direction only, so we'll run that in. Probably do that a little bit closer actually. That can go more like this. This one can go more like this. And then we'll also have this line here be able to cross. I mean, again, I suppose we can achieve that with double slips. Possibly. But yeah, out this side, we want you to do that. We want you to do this. And then I guess in these gaps... Actually, oh man. What I want to be able to do is something like that, but it's not going to work because of these. So I'm going to shorten these again. I suppose here we could go for another set of double slips, can't we? And do it like that. Where it's going to come in, I guess like so. And then over here, similar. I'm just going to do that. That looks fine. It probably isn't. I'm going to find loads of design faults with this later on. But for now, I'm just going to say that this is A-OK. And we can now cross. So let's say this line here. No, this line here, the approach line. We can cross all the way over to this one. We can also get to this one. We can get to this one. And we can get to these two. So yeah, that's fine. And departing here, we can get to that one. And yeah. Excuse me. And if we could do it on one side, the other side's basically symmetrical, so should be all good. Excellent. Let's rebuild this road then. Which I'm hoping I can do, yeah, basically with a bridge. Now again, people have left comments advising me on how to build bridges. It's not my forte, so you're going to see some awful bridges if I try and follow even your guides. So I'm just going to stick to what I know and build some awful bridges. I mean, that's not the worst. What about this side? It's a bit tight. Excuse me. There's the cough I was afraid of doing. I mean, that looks alright. I'm going to go with that. That is my bridge design. I have built way worse, believe me. And then, yeah, you can connect like this. I'm choking on air again, guys. What is wrong with me? Okay, so yeah, these are the approaches on this side. These double slips here we could possibly replace with something a bit more functional, because the speed limits here would be quite slow, I imagine. But for now, it's fine. As for these tracks here, there's another thing. I think what I might do for this side is new. Where's Swaddling Coat? Oh, that's Howitch. Swaddling Coat's this way. That kind of helps make my mind up. So that, there. And then this one. I guess is going to come in alongside it like this. And not a huge fan of how that's gone, but never mind. So yeah, here we're just going to come around and we're going to cross over like that. This level crossing here might get redone. That's fine. And I've just realised the parallel track isn't going to work anyway because of the fact that it's level crossing. So I get another chance to rebuild this. There we are. All good. And then over here, yeah. So this is, it's kind of, what we've got here is I want you to connect directly to this side. And I want you to connect directly to that side. There will be a double slip in the middle there. But then I also want this one here to tuck in. Just like that. I want this one to tuck in. Just like that. And I think here we'll just have a generic scissor. A bit more boring this side, but I think functional. So the way this would work now is express trains especially, they'll come thundering through here and they'll go straight into this middle track or this track here. And then from here they can go direct onto that line or direct onto that line. And I think this is a pretty good way of actually setting this junction up. There are probably better ways. You're probably all screaming at me on the screen right now, but it's fine. It's fine. Alright, that should connect to that, and does, which is excellent. This is running alongside this road here quite nicely, except we're now going to curve away a little bit. And the reason we're doing that is to get a better angle coming in like this. In fact, for this one we could go with this style. No, we can't, because it's going to block the railway. Again, level crossings, there's a very finite angle to which you can get away with building these level crossings. Simple solution would be to rebuild the road at some point, and that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Another crack at this as well. From there to there. Again, no. It's just that real slow down point up there where it went to 58 you saw just then. I don't think that's too much slope somehow, game. I think that's you messing with me. That goes to 67. That should be fine. Again, we can always rebuild this rail over road if need be. Right, let's get this line in and then we can start looking at extending further out from Farringdon. Farringdon, by the way, I found out. I asked before, why is there a town on here named after a place in London? It's actually a town as well. I'm trying to remember where it is. But there is a town called Farringdon, which I didn't know about until fairly recently. So there you go. If anyone else was wondering, there is in fact a town in the UK called Farringdon. I want to say it's in Nottinghamshire, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I'm trying to remember frantically where it is, and nothing's springing to mind. But yeah, if you do know, or if you live there even, why not leave a comment down below? Let me know. Maybe one day I'll get to visit it as well. And sort of take a photo and just be like, yep, this place is real. Not in a patronising way, obviously, just in a, it's not just a place in London. Right, swaddling coat connected properly this time. And because of that, Farringdon is now also connected, and again, properly this time. Now I think, for now, what do I want to do? I want to follow the road here from Farringdon to Barton, but I think today we're going to build the line to Colville, Kings Lynn, St Ives. How we're going to get from Colville to Kings Lynn, I do not know. The St Ives bit might be a bit easier, and eventually we could extend from St Ives over to Crewe, and again we'll form a loop. Or we'll just have it as two you know what, just for the sake of operational interest, we might just have it as two separate terminus. We can end up with a line between St Ives and Crewe, maybe via Ipswich, but it'll be into different platforms. That'd be a good way to connect up Ipswich, thinking about it. But yeah, let's do this. So Colville, I think Colville is going to be this side of town. I'm just looking at the topography here. So we're going to be going this way to Kings Lynn, right alongside the road. So I think a little bit of demo here. I think this road here is going to be home to our railway station here at Colville. Just like that. That road's not perfectly, or the railway, sorry, isn't perfectly parallel to the road. It's fine. It doesn't matter too much. As long as we can connect the railway up and get trains running and make loads of money, that's all I really care about. So again, quite a sharp curve there, but it's still 75 miles per hour. Same thing over here, because we're going to be scooching around the back of this distillery. I'm just going to call it a distillery, even if that's not what the game calls it, because anywhere alcohol's made pretty much is a distillery or a brewery. So yeah, or a basement, but we don't talk about those ones. Alright, Kings Lynn. I think we're going to go... Oh, my voice really echoed in the room then. That's not good. Hopefully the microphone didn't pick that up too much. Here we're going to go like this. Again, that's not perfectly parallel, but we're going to have towns soon with weird shaped roads anyway, so it's all in the spirit of the game. Again, I'm future-proofing the size of these stations. They don't need to be this big, but I'm making them this big. Alrighty. Out of town. I'm going to curve around like this. Slows down a little bit there to 74. What that tells me is when we get to a 125 mile per hour tracks, this curve here, sorry, is still going to be 74. Which I suppose is fine. But yeah, bit of a pain, might need redoing. At that point, of course, we could just plough through the hills and be done with it, but I want to try and stay realistic if I can. Even if it is a bit of a faff. How does that look? Terrible. I love it. I feel like I could bridge over there, but then there's nowhere to slope down on the other side, which becomes an issue. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit more space. There we go. And similar thing here. Give myself a little bit more space to work with. And you can see we're following the natural slope of the land here, which is fine. And that there connects up nicely to Colville. So I can imagine in the future we're going to have like huge suburban type commuter trains shuttling backwards and forwards up this line. Probably electrified. It's going to look amazing. Which reminds me... Yes, look at this. So we got the Britannia Bridge. Now I have no idea how this works. I imagine it's something like this and then you lift it up into place. Yes. That's a bridge span, it says, but then so's this. So you can see how that works. It's got 2 tracks. If you know the Britannia Bridge, I believe it was designed by Thomas Telford. I'm trying to remember where it is, but you can see the 2 tracks there. They are tunnels, technically, but it is a bridge. Again, you kind of have to look it up to really see what I'm talking about. But each track is covered. And the reason talking about electrification there reminded me of it is because it says you can't use it with electrified trains. So, just, yeah, it reminded me. I'm going to make this a 4-platform. No, I'm not. I'm going to make this a 3-platform station. And I'm going to stick it this side of town. Because we're relatively near here to some houses. There we go. And now from here, again the topography is a little bit weird, but we should be able to manage. I'm going to follow the road here, believe it or not, from King's Lynn. So we're going to come up this way and then around and that way to King's Lynn. Which seems a bit... Also, I love the fact they've put Cornwall in the name of St Ives there, because again, there's a St Ives. I want to say Cambridgeshire again, but I don't know if that's Suffolk, maybe? Is St Ives in Suffolk? I don't even know now. I was going to be all knowledgeable then and tell you a geography fact, and then I completely blanked on the actual location. There is another St Ives though. There's 2 St Neots, there's 2 St Ives that I know of. I'm sure there are more. So that used to always confuse me football-wise. Steamers used to loan players out to St Neots, the one nearby, Cambridgeshire. And I used to always wonder, why have we got such a close relationship with a club down in Cornwall? But no, it's not that, St Neots. Here we go then. And around this way, like so. And then around this way, like so. And again, a little slow down there to 74, but otherwise that is fine. Build the crossovers here. So I'm going to be a little lazy again, and we're going to go like that. And we're going to go like this, and I think this is just going to be a scissors. Keep things simple. Eventually this could be like a 6-8 track station, but right now, little 3-tracker, that's absolutely fine. And we can now technically run trains between Walsall and St Ives, which we might actually end up doing. Although we might do Walsall to... I'm going to try and run the full length and see what happens. Now we've got Farringdon. We're going to run to Barton, and then Barton to Cockermouth, then to Thornaby, and then to Crewe. And that's going to be our other connections here. So at Barton, I feel like building the station... this type, and then like this. I feel like building it literally like this. Smack it on this corner. Boom. Done. Perfect. Because then we can curve here, cross the road. We might end up on this side of the road here still, and then at this point here we'll curve round. That should work. I hope. Let's try. Normally I build the stations and then build the track, but I'm kind of curious here to see how good this will look. The crossing type here might have to change. Once we get the barrier type, that will look better. I mean, that's not the worst. You can just imagine a train though at like 60 miles an hour, just passing that fence. That is squeaky bum time if ever I saw it. Also the fact we now have to curve this way again. To then curve this way again. I think already at this point we're starting kind of the approach to Farringdon. I kind of like the fact that we've got curvier lines this map as well, rather than the ones on the old map. They weren't perfectly straight, but we had a lot of straight line stuff, as we weren't bothering following contours basically. It slows down to 68 there, but again that's something that can be done in the future, because our fastest train at the moment is, the ones we're using are 45 miles an hour, and I think the ones available to us aren't that much faster. Cockermouth then. I think we're going to stay on the east side of Cockermouth so that we can then wrap round to Thornaby and then hit Crewe. So I'm thinking we build it here, but maybe on its own little sort of road thing that sticks out. We might make it a block. If we do something like this. And do that. Because at least then you've got like a turning place for buses and stuff, which is pretty cool. And again, I'm going to build the track here first, just to make sure that it does in fact work. What, too much slope? What are you talking about? Barely any slope. That's what it should say. Comes up with an error message. Barely any slope. Have another go. Alright, out like this. And then follow the road at this point. So there. And then in. Again, there's a bit of a slowdown at the end. I could possibly make this a little closer to the road actually. Looking at it. If I was to turn off parallel for a second and just do that. There we are. That's a bit better. And take it back. Yeah, much better. Cool. So that's Cockermouth hooked up. Next up we got Thornaby, which is going to be, again, pretty similar to Cockermouth. Got pins and needles in my fingers, that's not a good sign. Yeah, this is going to be the block that Thornaby Station is going to sit on, which again is relatively close to the road. So I think this episode here is going to be all about the track building. And then the next episode is going to be the line planning and the vehicle purchasing, because we've got buses and all sorts of things to add to all of this. I'm just looking at how long I've been recording. That's pretty good actually. Signalling should take us up to the end quite nicely. There we go. That, and then from here should be able to just connect straight up. We're kind of cutting corners and stuff a little bit here. We could have followed the road a little more closely, but it's fine. And then finally at Crewe, what are we going to do at Crewe? Here's a question. I feel like putting it here with a road across. That's very tempting. I feel like from like here, just going across like that. And this is Crewe Station. Kind of like that. Let's do that. There we are. So Thornaby, again, the stations here, they're not that far apart really, when you think about it. We'll try and build this one a little bit more in sections, he says. Two's a number, right? That counts. And there we go. And then over here, I feel like we've got a little more room for crossovers here. Because, I mean, it's a terminus. Trains are going to be coming in slow anyway. So we can do this, and this. Hopefully we can have a signal there before the level crossing. Worst case scenario, we move the road. Alrighty. So we've connected up Crewe, Thornaby, Cockermouth, Barton, Farringdon, and Swadlincote on one line. And on the other line, we've got St Ives, Kings Lynn, and Colville all connecting up to Farringdon as well. Now here I feel like one of these services is going to stop at Swadlincote and the other one isn't. So for that reason, I'm actually tempted to rebuild Swadlincote Station. It's a design that I've not used for a little while, but I'm going to use it here. I'm going to remove this platform. No, the whole station, just this platform. Cute. So I think the train to St Ives is going to stop here, and the other train isn't. That's my plan. Hopefully that's a functioning plan. Is that a subway? Yep. You're going to go there. And then I'm going to have you there and there. There we are. So now I should be able to hopefully rebuild this. With you... Nope. You connecting there. Is that going to build the other one? Nope. That's fine. And then, yeah, you like that. That's all good. We can close that. So yeah, here, you're going to come out like so. You're going to go in like so. And then on this side of things, you're going to go in like so. And you're going to go in like so. There we are. Swadlincote Station, tick. So yeah, from here, we're going to have these signals like so. There we go. And then up here we'll have don't know what I was rapid clicking there, that makes no sense. We'll have one of you there. I can't be bothered to do the combined here, so we're just going to say it's fine. You're going to go there, and we don't need to remove you because you're far enough away, but I'm going to get the bulldozer tool out anyway, just to come down here and check that everything is fine and dandy, which it looks as though it is, which is sweet. Awesome. First bit done. So this side of Swadlincote, we can then go for the next set of signals, which is going to go there. All the way up to Farringdon, which is going to have the combined, because this is a big junction. Trains are going to stop a lot more. I like to think Swadlincote is more of a, I guess fluid junction would be one way of saying it, if that doesn't sound weird. Where, you know, trains aren't going to get held up unless there's a train already in the platform, which at that point, you know, you're going to have to stop anyway, so no big deal. Whereas at Farringdon, there's a chance that, you know, there might be a conflicting move or whatever. So, there you go. Makes more sense to have the... I don't know what I'm saying, everyone. It makes more sense at Swadlincote to just have normal junction set up, whereas at Farringdon, it makes more sense to... What has happened there? It makes more sense to... You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say, hopefully. I don't sound like a complete Burke. Right. Let's go this way first. Remove that. Yeah, that's all looking good. And then this side. So, and that should come all the way back down the hill to Farringdon, which it does. Lovely stuff. So what I want to do here is replace you replace you. There we go. That saves a click or two, doesn't it? Assuming they all, yep, they all do remain the same. Fantastic. And then Colville to King's Lynn. I forget how many stations there are, and I'm sort of telling myself, oh, you're nearly there, and then I'm really not. One thing I'm not checking here actually is signal placement versus level crossings. I think we're okay. Here's a bit finicky actually, so we're gonna fix that. What about this one? This one, yeah, that one should be fine. Good, that's all fine. And then for the final stretch here to send Ives, zoom in and we're going to place one there and immediately remove it. It didn't place all my signals. It's because I didn't have auto sig turned on. There we go. Would have if I checked that, really, wouldn't it? That would make much more sense. Right. Auto sig, Q. No, we need that one. Level crossing there, that's fine. We can move you. Again, some of these could probably be replaced by bridges and stuff anyway, at which point it won't become a massive deal. Do that and do that. I love this tool. This is by far my favourite, one of my favourite mods. Did just lag a little bit there, so that's kind of made me realise. Don't even know if autosave's kicked in because the game's not playing. That'll be why. Go on, game. Save nice and quick. There we are. Right. Now the long one. Farringdon, Barton, Cockermouth, Thornaby, Crewe. What would be cool is if the autosig actually passed through stations, but I can see how that would cause problems. Kind of like with OpenTTD though, where it will go through bridges and tunnels at the 3 or 4 apart, whatever it might be, and then afterwards it will go back to the right distance again. But you know, we don't make the rules, we just follow them. That one there is completely the wrong place. What you don't want is a signal right in the middle of a platform, is basically what I'm trying to say. Because that would be a massive headache trying to fix that. And trying to sort that out in the code as well would just be awful. I do not envy programmers. There we go. Entrance to Farringdon Station secure. Alright, auto sig, yes please. One at the end of the platform there. Now this side I'm going to bring it back about that far. Hopefully. Auto sig is turned on, so maybe that level crossing has caused problems. I just do that. Okay, yeah, I think that level crossing is causing more problems than I thought. If I do it from here. Yeah, so I must have placed it perfectly for that level crossing, which is kind of good aim, I suppose, but at the same time a little bit annoying. Excuse me. My worst nightmare, coughing on camera. I did it in a live stream recently for the day job as well, where I did the usual warning, like not feeling very well, sore throat, cough, 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 and like partway through the stream at a really crux moment, playing Need for Speed Unbound, which is a half decent game, but you know, just coughed straight into the microphone, which you never do that when you're a streamer. I think I was in the middle of a sentence and I just breathed in too heavily. And you know when you've got like a tickly throat and you breathe in too heavily and you just can't not cough. Anyway, you don't need to hear my life story. Approaching Crewe. There we go. And then we'll stick you there. And I'll just do a simple replacement on this one because why not? There we go. And then this and that. And I think actually you're far enough away that that's fine. Although I do want one at this side of the station. So I'm going to smack you down right there. Nice. Alrighty then. So that'll do it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to put in bus stops, get bus lines running, and then we're going to get these trains running as well. So until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you're enjoying the series so far, drop those comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It really does help me out. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Like I said, really helps me out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, I will see you soon.